But ladies and gentlemen, I want to open up with Hollow Knight Silksong. I'm about 40 minutes in. I have beaten the first boss, which was called Mother. And look, Hollow Knight is an amazing game. Hollow Knight Silksong is expected to be even better. It was in development for 6 years. And folks, something happened yesterday that in my 45 years of gaming has never seen happen before. You've heard of storefronts going down for DOS attacks, right? Like in the holidays, that's what usually happens. Now whether it's a DOS attack or it's a lot of people turning on their PlayStation 5s and their Xbox and their Nintendo Switches all at the same time, it crashes the systems, no matter how many servers they have. Well, something happened yesterday that in all of my years of gaming, I have never seen before. And I experienced it because, you're starting to see people, hey, how, like for Clobriel, Hollow Knight Silksong available. Oh, this is great. And you go and I load up the store and I get an error message. And I'm like, what? Is my internet crapping out on me again? Maybe it is. So I reset the modem. Nothing. And I said, you know what? Let me hard reset the Xbox. Sometimes that's a problem. I do it, store's still down. So then I just go to the socials. And we get a confirmation, ladies and gentlemen, that Hollow Knight Silksong's release broke Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, and the Nintendo eShop. Like, holy cow, are you kidding me? And then it breaks another record for Steam with over 500,000 concurrent players. Like, first of all, let's just rewind this a bit back, right? Like Team Cherry took 6 years for the sequels from the original, and it's been delayed and delayed and delayed. And a lot of people had some thoughts like, "Oh my God, it's going to be as good. Why has it been so much? Give them, let them cook, whatever. They cooked all right. They cooked." And then they surprise everyone with a $20 price tag. Now, look, folks, I'm not getting a singular dime from Team Cherry. They don't even know I exist. But I'm going to tell you what I did. The minute it came up, I downloaded it. When I was able to download it after hours of it being live on the store, I bought it. It's $20. And I normally don't get behind or try to encourage anyone to spend their money because, first of all, it's not for me to do. But this is one of those stories, ladies and gentlemen, that just makes you feel really good as a human. Not as an Xbox or a pony or a Nintendork or a PC head. It's just as a human being. You just look at a story like this, it kind of just makes you smile. This is a small team that hit with a game that is very difficult. Hollow Knight, yes, is it playable? Can you beat it? Sure. A lot of people have beaten it 10 times over. But the game has a difficulty curve, for sure. It is a side-scrolling Souls-like type of game. At times it's passable, and other times you want to throw your controller against the wall. I mean, that's just the way it is. But it's an incredible experience. And 6 years later, well, here's the sequel. Now they got a huge bag of money, I would imagine, to get Silksong into Game Pass, which that in itself just is gonna that point is gonna play a lot of credence to the second topic of the show of how the narrative for Xbox will not relent with games media and the games community, no matter what they do. And we're going to get into that. But keeping it focused on Silksong, I think everybody should run out and throw your $20 at this thing. Now, if you do, great. If you don't, I'm not going to get angry. It's your money. I can't spend your money for you. But again, this is one of those feel-good stories, Crispy Bomb, that you want to support the dev. It's $20. This game could have easily came out for $40, and everyone would have lined up on Steam and Nintendo and PlayStation to buy it. I don't know how many people on Xbox would have bought it. Probably a lot of people like myself, because it was $40. I would have spent $40 because I just think that supporting a dev like this that has put so much into this game, makes me smile. Crispy, let's get your thoughts on how big of a deal this game was and how it crashed every freaking store in gaming.
Yeah, I mean, well, we got to go back to how long people have waited.
Yep.
I don't have these type of games. It's hit or miss for me. So if I get that itch, yeah, I might buy it. But it's in Game Pass. I mean, I pay for Game Pass. It's a either way. Like I'm not, I think they got a really large bag from Microsoft, especially how many delays they had. Generally these indies, they want to try to get it out as quickly as possible. So, I mean, obviously they were very steadfast and thinking like, yes, we need to make this game as perfect as we possibly can, which, generally that goes in favor of the dev, and clearly it has. So you look at, I mean, I've never heard of it crashing multiple stores, any game. Obviously the price point has a lot to do with it, but also I think this is one of those that, even in spite of the delays, that we're getting more and more hyped instead of the opposite, which can happen. We have seen that. And, realistically, this is a good blueprint for some of these smaller dev teams. I mean, 3 people, even at $20, if it's basically quantity and quality all at once. They're just throwing it out there, and now people have reacted, and clearly, I mean, I think the number is going to be like astronomical. Probably break records down, by the end of like the year, probably. And especially for an indie dev, that's going to break down some walls for some other indie devs and really make them think about how they're going to approach releasing their game. And just congratulations to them. I couldn't see this coming. I mean, I've heard about it for a long time, and it's just like, oh, it's coming, and to have it like hit like this is just crazy, and well deserved. Unfortunately, I'm seeing some acting like that price point is, especially some journalists, which is just, I mean, typical. Acting like that price point is going to hurt indie devs down the road. I don't believe that. They chose their price, and we always say like those smaller teams, like, price it as you see fit, and there's always options down the road if it doesn't sell the way you like. So I was flabbergasted, and really just leave it at that.
I mean, you're not wrong. And you know what's interesting? You made mention of a story that I did not see. Criticism on a lower price. I was just going to blindly comment on it, but I don't have the story. So if you don't mind, drop it into the DMs and give a quick read while I hand the mic over to Korkenstein, because that's the kind of stupidity in today's journalism that I am talking about. If you want to complain, see, I mean, look, I put it this way. Like, I have a voice. I have a podcast. I have 5 of them per week. So I have a responsibility to be honest. I let you know when it's my opinion. We don't have to agree, but I'm entitled to it. But I do keep it a buck. And when I am going to use someone's story, I give credit and I add it to the show notes, so the credit could be pushed forward like it's supposed to be. When I see something that I find to be foul or incorrect, I will comment on it. Yes, it's my opinion, but I will take it to task. This, what you're talking about, Crispy, is the stupidity of journalism today. If you want to complain about a company nickel and diming you, great. You should complain. Shouldn't get nickel and dime. If you want to complain about a game being popular and them taking advantage of it and upping the price because it's a popular game, I hear you. To complain about a game being too cheap and too good is almost in the line of Xbox being too good, it's destroying the industry. The stupidity, ladies and gentlemen, is just not to be believed. Horkenstein, let's try and keep this positive, and let's talk about Silksong breaking the internet. Like we always say it, like, oh, if Spider-Man gets announced for Xbox, the internet is going to break. It probably is. But honestly, a game that came out for people to buy broke the internet. Insane. Let's get your thoughts, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is what happens when a developer is able to release the game the way they want to. This is what happens when there's no insider culture, there's no leaking, there's none of that. It's pretty much these guys were able to create something awesome and release it the way they wanted to release it, market it the way they wanted to market it. And it's incredibly successful. I mean, I played Hollow Knight. I don't know if I 100%ed it. I got pretty far, but I definitely finished it. But yeah, it's great to see that these guys are doing great, and for people to to trash the price point, that just makes zero sense. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Game Pass bag helped. And these guys are able to play, they're pricing their own game. They're not rookies at this. They know what works. They've been in the industry for a while. It's a solid team. They have a solid game. And it's something that they're passionate about, and it's something they worked very hard on. And they're gonna price it to where it's gonna reach the most people possible. That's what gaming's about: getting people to play games, to have fun, enjoy what they're playing. Developers work very, very hard on all this stuff. Which people forget. There's actual real people that did, worked on this. But you're playing, and yeah, I haven't been able to play it yet. I'm gonna be honest. Indie comes first. Like I said, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, so the DLC unfortunately released on the same day. And so I'm just gonna knock out the DLC real quick, and then I'll jump into Silksong, because I already know this is gonna be one of those Metroidvania games that's gonna just grip me, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm just not gonna be able to put it down like I did with Hollow Knight. And yeah, so I'm totally happy. Congrats, Team Cherry. You guys deserve it. As far as breaking the internet, I mean, that's just insane. I mean, Grand Theft Auto maybe, but that's the only other one I could think of that would probably kind of shut down some systems. But other than that, yeah, good on Silksong, good on Hollow Knight. It's available on Game Pass. Even if it isn't, it's $20. Pay the $20. Be able to get a solid experience. And yeah, that's all I got. It's pretty awesome.
Well, I mean, look, Chris Baum shared it, folks. If you want to check it out, he just dropped it into it's Destructoid, not a surprise. Destructoid equates the same thing as like the Inquirer, like Elvis bangs alien, comes back to life. Like that's about what the worth of Destructoid. I haven't heard that name in a long time, and there's a reason, because they're shit. So that's not surprising at all. And the title's even ridiculous. Indies are going to be hurt by this price. Listen, folks. Gaming is going to be hurt at continued price hikes. Mario Kart World is $80 if you want to buy it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And as much as I really enjoyed Mario Kart World, that Sonic team, the new Sonic Racer, dope. So I had some footage recorded, really good stuff. But look, Fuzzy Belvedere, let's get back to Silksong. This is a phenomenon. This is something that we will see with Grand Theft Auto 6 when that releases next year in May. If it keeps the date in May, we'll see. The world is going to break, right? It's just going to break. It just is what it is. It is and will be the biggest game of 2026. Nothing is, and I say that as someone who can't wait to see the new Gears, Halo, and Forza. And Grand Theft Auto is going to be the biggest. Everybody's going to buy. But let's get your thoughts on this, Fuzzy. It broke the internet. It literally broke all the stores, and it took a few hours after its launch to get all the stores back up and running. This is an indie title that's a sequel to a game that took 6 years to come out, priced at $20, and wow, it literally stopped gaming in its tracks.
Yeah, the planets aligned and everything. No, the big thing is, and this is where I got some of that smoke or shade to throw at people. It's like, I guess Game Pass really doesn't hurt gaming after all. I mean, it was in Game Pass and it's still selling everywhere. So much for that narrative. But I think the big thing is the $20 price point. I don't think it's going to hurt other indies. I mean, sure, they could have probably gotten a good bit of the same sales if it was priced at 30. But I think pricing at 20 makes it like that. You don't even think twice about it. Even if you already have a full plate of games, you're going to pick it up for $20. You might not get to it for a couple of months, but you're still going to pick it up at $20. If it's at $30, it's like, well, I'll wait because I'm still playing this game or that game. But at 20, it's you buy, you add it to your backlog of games, and you get around to it when you get around to it. So I think that was a smart move on their part. There's always this threshold of where do you price a game where you would get the most sales? Like if you do it at 30, do you stand to lose a couple million sales? Well, but doing it at 20, I think you have people not even thinking twice about picking it up and adding it to their library. So it's great to see that the game is doing so well that it's breaking stores. And yes, Grand Theft Auto 6 will probably do something similar, but it's still that price point is going to be a much larger entry point for Grand Theft Auto 6, unfortunately. But yeah, I play a little bit of it. It's right in tune with a continuation from the first one. I've got one tool added to my overall kit, so yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's going to take a bit longer for me to really get into the groove of it. And this is one of those games where I know it may not be the type of game for a lot of people, but once I got my Steam Deck, and anybody that's, messed around with a PC handheld or any kind of handheld console, this is the type of game that flourishes on those devices. It almost feels like it's a perfect match. Sure, you can play it on your big screen, or you can play it on your 27-inch, computer monitor or widescreen or whatever, but having it in hand on like a smaller device, I think it's like more of a perfect fit. It just harkens back to, like somebody said in the chat, Cole, it's almost like back in the day when you had your NES or like not even that, like before those, like the little Nintendo, like handheld, like I forget what they call them now, but it was basically, you had like 2 buttons and a plus sign for your directional stuff. And it was no bigger than like a wallet size type of like little mini handheld type of thing. And that's why I like that type of game on a handheld. It just harkens back to that type of deal. But yeah, it broke the store. It's doing well on Game Pass. It's doing well even within the Xbox store. It's doing awesome on Steam. It's probably doing awesome on PlayStation and Nintendo. Once again, being the game that works well on handhelds, I imagine it's going to do extremely well on the Switch. But yeah, that 6 years of pent-up demand, it's well worth breaking some stores. And it goes to show when you make a good quality game, people are going to line up and patiently wait. Same thing can be said for Grand Theft Auto 6, but yeah, it's awesome to see a smaller developer, have this type of success within a short period of time, much faster than their first game. And that first game is like an indie darling now, and this will more than likely be a indie darling as well, with it being a sequel that improved on the first. So we'll see how things shape out once it gets to this weekend. I imagine all of those numbers are going to increase because of people having time off on the weekend and stuff like that. But yeah, it's awesome to see it.
Again, it's one of those really feel good stories in gaming. I'm sorry, folks. Like I said, I love being positive. I love being playful and happy and go lucky. And again, this is one of those stories that, as a gamer, especially an old gamer like me that started with the Atari 2600, I love these kind of stories. The last time you've seen a game of quality like this, and Crispy is going to appreciate this, is you have to harken back, folks. Where are my OGs in the chat? You remember when NFL 2K5 with Randy Moss on the cover was $20 for the Dreamcast? That was, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. That is arguably the greatest football game to this date ever released. And it was $20. They battled Madden. It was their last 2K before. And because they priced it at $20, Madden EA got spooked so badly that they locked up the franchise, the NFL license, and to this day. If 2K ever got it back, I wouldn't buy another Madden for the rest of my existence. And that's the only other time I can think of a game that came out that was as quality as Hollow Knight Silksong, dropped to a price that almost seemed unattainable. Like $20, like, you kidding me? Like, I'm probably going to buy it on the Switch too as well, just to throw them some extra money, because I like supporting. I like stories like this. I think we should all appreciate stories like that.